everyone, Tracy here with Paper Closet Designs, and I am so excited for today's video. This is a project that I have had on the back burner for quite a while, and I am excited to finally get these working and be able to share them with you. So this is decoupage cards or layered cards. So I'm going to bring one up. And what this is it is all printable, and when you put it together with your foam tape, and it's layers, and it's really hard to see on the camera, but these are so pretty. And like I said, I've been working on these for a while, and I work on them and then I've put them aside, and so today I am ready to share these with you. I have two different sets. I also have a video of the software that's separate than this, so you're going to want to go and check that out. But let me explain a couple of things before we jump right into it. First off, like I said, these are printable cards, so you'll get your pieces. Let me pull this over. Like this, you have all of your separate pieces, and then you just put them together. If you have a Cricut or a Silhouette, they're super easy to do, and they will print out of your machine like this, depending on which machine you have, with your registration marks, and then you just put it into the machine. Okay, let me back up. You'll print this on your home printer, and it will have your registration marks depending on which machine you're using. And then you'll put this in your machine, and it will read those registration marks, and it will cut these out, and then you can go ahead and layer them. So I have another video explaining how to do that in the software. It's not this video, but I will put a link to it down below so that you can do it with your software. If you love these cards and you do not have a Cricut or a Silhouette or any of the machines, you can still do them. So with your file, you will receive this printable instructions PDF. I'm trying to hold this down far enough. This is for the single daisy cards, and it has your instructions of how to set it up with your machines, Cricut, Design Space, or Silhouette. And then it has color, which is different than most of my handouts. It has color printable. So you can print these out on your printer, and then with your scissors, you can cut them out. So there's the envelope, there's your card layered pieces, there's the liner for the envelope, your two extra sayings, like I said, your envelope, and then your card base. So if you don't have a Cricut or a Silhouette or any of your other machines, these are still doable. And I tried to make the individual pieces easy enough that you can cut them with the scissors. The supplies that you will need are pretty simple. Of course, you'll need cardstock to print it on. And then you will need a tape runner or glue to tape your base card on, and I'll show you that here in a second. And then you'll need some foam tape or foam pop dots. So there's all kinds that you can purchase. You can get the little squares that are pre-cut, or even smaller, or the circles, or you can buy them on the rolls. And a lot of your craft stores have them on the rolls. Amazon does as well. And there's a bunch of different widths. These are my favorites. So this is a 1/2 inch, and this is, I think this is a 1/4 inch wide. And so I use both of these, and I will put links to all of this down below. So when you get your card, first let me back up. If you order these directly or download these directly from the Silhouette store, you will get the files for one card or one saying, and then separate purchases for the card and the envelope. If you purchase them from my Etsy shop or my Scrap Chick, which is where most of my files are found, you'll get them in sets, and then you can interchange the sayings. So the first set would be the bouquet cards with this envelope, and the second set is the single daisy with this envelope. You can print these on white paper or you can do them on a cream color. I've done both today to show you how to do them. And they are really simple, fast, quick cards. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And we are going to start with the bouquet card. It probably has the few more pieces. So the bouquet card, again, we have Happy Mother's Day, Happy Easter, and Happy Birthday. And then you have the envelope with the liner. So let's go ahead and start. Here's our card. And I will show you the pieces that come with it. Now it's going to print out looking just like this from your printer. But these are the pieces. So you will have the Happy Birthday is the one I'm going to work on, or one of the different sayings depending on which card you get. You'll have your embellishment pieces. So we have 2 of the single flowers, 2 of the tri-flowers, or the group of 3 flowers, 1 of the bouquet, and then you'll have your card base. So your card base has everything printed on it with the exception of the sentiment. We're going to take the card or the envelope and slide it away. You'll also have your card base. This is not printed. I just cut this. This one I cut out of cream paper. The next one we're going to do, I cut out of white. So you're going to go ahead and score your card. And then we can go ahead and glue our card base onto the front. So I'm just going to tip it over. And I'm going to put glue in 3 spots. I do the edges and down the middle. And then just glue it to your card base. And that is ready to go. And if you didn't want to layer it, you could use just this piece and make your cards with just this. Put your own sentiment on there and it is ready to go. And it looks really pretty. But now we're going to add the fun stuff. We're going to do the decoupage part of it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my sentiment and I'm just going to glue this down. I'm not going to pop that up. And the reason why I'm just gluing this piece down is because I don't want to, I want the bouquet and the flowers to be popped up above it. So I'm just going to line it up right there on my card. Just like that. And yes, it does cover those flowers, but that's okay. So now we're going to start with our largest piece. I'm going to take the bouquet and I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to put foam tape on the back of there. Now I usually start, where's my scissors? This is why I like it on the roll, because I can make it, the size works a little bit better. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to get 2 or 3 pieces that are about 1/2 inch. Let's just do 2 to begin with. You always want one right in the middle, and then you want to go kind of close to the edge. So I'm going to do 1 more. And then, because this one has some little leaves and stuff sticking out, I'm going to take my thinner tape. Now, if you didn't have that, you could use this one and just cut the pieces thinner, or you could use your dots and cut them in half. Whatever works. You don't have to buy all of these different foams if you don't want to. But I promise you, once you get started on these cards, you're going to love them. They're so pretty and they're so easy to do. So I'm just going to cut a couple of my skinnier pieces and put them kind of out there on the edge. Okay, and I could put more up there if I wanted to. Just depends on what you're doing with these cards. If you're sticking them in the mail, I would probably put more on that bigger flower. Then we're going to take the backs off. And then we can just lay that. We're going to match everything up. and just lay it down. And then I can take my group of 3 and I'm going to do the same thing and put it up there on the top. So this one, I'm going to take my tape again. We are getting quite the storm out there today. I don't know if you can hear it or not. The lightning was going crazy a little bit earlier. Okay, so just put tape on there. And then again, we're going to match that up. And you can see that we're starting to build up the layers. So now I have another group with 3 flowers, and it's going to go on the bottom on the bouquet. And you only have to do, well, don't have to, but like I said, you can use just the card base. You could put on just 1 layer of these. You can do 3 layers. If you wanted even more, you could print a couple more of those and just really build it out. Whatever you want to do. And you'll notice that I put the foam tape on differently every time I do this. So there's no right or wrong way to it. I'm going to remove these. And there we go. So now we've got the 2 single flowers that are going to go right on the very top. I'm going to do a couple of longer pieces. Flip those over. And remove the back on that one. Just match it up, line it up. These really do go together super fast, especially after you've done one of them. Then they'll just go together really quick. And there is our card. You can put a sentiment, write a note, anything in there. And then we have the envelopes that go with these. And they also have the printed liner. The envelopes themselves and the card base themselves are just cut from normal cardstock, but then these are printed. And the same goes with this. It'll print out on your printer, and then it'll have the registration marks for your machine to cut, or if you do it with the printable instructions by hand, it will have the liner. This is for the next set of cards we're going to do. Oops. Okay, so when we do the envelope, now I just cut my envelope out of copy paper. You could do a lighter cardstock if you wanted to, but I think the copy paper works really good. You have 4 score lines. We're just going to score on all of those 4 lines. We're going to bring everything up. Okay, so valley folds. Now we're going to take our liner. The liner does not have any score lines on it. It doesn't need them. And we're going to put some tape. I'm going to do it across the top, a couple in the middle, and 1 down on the bottom. And then we can bring our envelope over here, and we're just going to lay this in. I like to score it first so that I know exactly where I want to put this. And I didn't get that too centered, but it'll work. And then all we're going to do is we're going to fold these 2 tabs in first, and we're going to put glue on them. Now, when you bring up this, your bottom, it doesn't come clear up to the top of those tabs. So you want to make sure that you only put glue right to there. And so if you have a little pencil, you could make a mark. I'm just going to kind of use my finger. And then I'm going to put tape on the outside edge and on the inside edge. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Again, you could mark it. I'll just use my finger. Outside edge. Whoops, that didn't go all the way in. inside edge. You could also use glue if you wanted to. And we're just going to fold this up. And there is your envelope. Score this part, the flap, down again because there's no score line on the liner. So we're just going to fold it again. And now your card just slips right in there. And it's ready to be mailed. Put a little tape, some glue, a sticker. Isn't that just so fun? Okay, so that is the bouquet cards. We're gonna move on. This is the single daisy card, and we have thank you, sending hugs, or thinking of you, and the envelope that goes with that has the purple paper. I want to show you really quick before I start to assemble this. So here's our card and our envelope. That on these sets, the sentiment is actually interchangeable. So this one, I'm going to do the sending hugs today, but it is the same size as on the bouquet cards. So if you wanted to put happy birthday on this card, you could take it from here and put it on here. You could take your sending hugs, put it on this one. They're all the same and they're interchangeable. So that gives you even more options. Okay, so for the single daisy card, we have the green, I don't know what part of the plant that is called, but the green part. Then you have the green part with the two blossoms, or two leaves. We have, or two petals. We have just the leaves. We have the whole flower. We have the sentiment. We have the base. And then again, you have your card base. For the envelope, we have the printable and the envelope. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start with this, and all I'm going to do, oh, whoops, this one has, and they're really tiny, and so I dropped them all over the floor. But you see these 3 dots? It has them again so that you can put them on. Let me show you. So right there, they're lifted up with tape, or foam tape, and you can use those or not. I think I've dropped one on the floor, so I might not put them on this one. Okay, so we're going to take this and we're going to put tape on the back of it. And then we're just going to put it on our card base. Just like that. I'm going to take our sentiment first, and I'm going to glue it right to the front of the card again. Glue or tape. You could also pop this one up if you wanted to. So let me show you what I'm going to do. So if I wanted to, I could pop this up and then pop up the flower and the leaves only. I'm going to glue it on this one down, and then I'm going to pop up the stem as well. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So on one of these, this one, I don't know how well you can see that. I popped up the thinking of you, the sentiment right there, and then I glued the stem down but popped up the flowers. On this one, I'm going to do the opposite. I glued the saying down. I'm going to take my full flower and I'm going to put tape on the whole thing. So I'm going to get my big roll of tape and I'm going to put it on the leaves and on the middle part of my flower. So right there, that one's kind of big, right there. Make sure it's not showing over. Okay, it's not. And now I'm going to take my skinnier tape and I'm going to put it right there on the stem. And because it's skinny, it'll kind of curve along with this the shape of the stem. And then I'm going to put a couple more on the petals. Now we can just take those off. Bring our card base down here. When you do these, you're going to want a little garbage can or a little bowl or something next to you to gather up all your backings of your tape. Okay, oh, and I did turn that up. Okay, so now we can just line this up. I'm going to do the leaves first, then the stem, and then the flower. Just like that. Super, super easy. Okay, next we have just the leaves. And they do have black foam tape. So if you're doing some of these and they have a darker color, you could get the black tape and then it's not going to show. But I use the white tape pretty much for everything. If you've seen any of my videos, you know I love the foam tape. Okay, so there's our leaf. Now we're going to take our 2 petals. Oh, let me get one more piece right there. I found my other dot. We're just going to pop that up there. And then finally we have this green piece. Trim that up. Right there. Okay, and then if you want to add the little dots, you can. You don't have to, but I think they look really nice on there. So I'm going to go ahead and do mine since I found all 3 of them. And I'm going to use the super skinny tape. And I'm just going to flip those over to start with. And I know the backs of them are white and we're on a white desk, so they're a little bit harder to see. And we're just going to cut a little tiny bit. It went flying. There it is. And if you had the pre-cut round ones or the pre-cut square ones, you could use that on here as well. I just think they add just a little bit to this already really fun card. Okay. I moved my camera so I wasn't working around the arm of it, but now I have to pull things out of the view to see what I'm doing. Okay, there we go. Sending hugs with all of the little layers. Isn't that fun? Okay, let's do the envelope on this one. And I did this out of white, so it's a little bit harder to see. You can do it out of your cream. So I'm gonna, again, fold all my score lines. I'm gonna do them up, or valley folds. Our liner, once again, does not have score lines. So we're just gonna tape it. I like to do it in 4 sections, the 2 edges and 2 in the middle, so that it doesn't buckle when you're folding your envelope. Let's see if I can line this one up a little bit better. There we go. Okay, we're gonna fold these in, bring this up, and then mark where we want our glue to go. And the same thing over here. Bring this up. And if you didn't see me put the other card together, I said that I will do these out of copy paper usually, but you can do them out of cardstock as well. Okay, then we're gonna go ahead and just fold the flap down so that we can get that liner scored. And then we take our little card and just slip it in there. I got some glue right on the edge there. And there is your card, all ready to be mailed. I hope that you will give these cards a try. They are so much fun. They really are so pretty. I just am so excited to share these. I've got a bunch more. I also have the pattern paper. All of this pattern paper is available to purchase either separately or as a set. I'm going to bring all of these down here so you can see them all. Anyway, the pattern papers can be purchased together or as a set as well. Thank you for joining me today. I hope that you'll give these cards a try. Give me a thumbs up, hit subscribe so that you don't miss any of my videos, and have a great day.